Episode 1. I'm Arianny.
I'm Nicole.
And welcome to Pink Bonnet Talk. I'm just going to get right into it and be honest and say we are recording this again because we ran out of storage halfway through the last episode. So
no, we're a little sick right now. I want to
just bear with us. We're gonna be okay. We cry, throw it up, but it's fine. So, girl, tell me what Pink Bonnet Talk is.
So, Pink Bonnet Talk is a little creation we created over, Girl Talk, FaceTime. It was a good time that we would have, and we would always be wearing our pink bonnets as a girl should. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is how we started. But the Pink Bonnet Talk is presented by the 4208. And the 4208 is for amigos, for friends, 2 siblings, me and my brother, and her brother. And we've known each other since 2008. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we have a knack lately in this group of when we sitting on this couch ideating ideas.
Girl, I still have the video from the first when we created the 4208 in this couch on Justin's birthday.
We're gonna pull that up on the screen, the little thing. It's gonna be the little video of me yelling at the boys. I'm like, and if we do this, I'm just saying, we can really get to the money.
We started as furniture too.
Yeah, we did. So originally the 4208, we'll just go ahead and give y'all our story for real. So when we started the 4208, our art collective, we were like, we're gonna flip furniture and kind of just start. We knew as artists we wanted to do something together because we're all creative in our own right. I felt like in the beginning though, you was always saying, you were like, I'm not really a creative. And I was like, Nicole.
Y'all would look at me like I was crazy, but I didn't think
she was like, I'm the Kim Kardashian in this group, okay? I don't know what's
the Leo. It's the Leo.
It's the Leo inside of you.
No, I mean, I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't as creative as everybody else would be.
I think but you know what? That's a very common thing, I think, among when you have like friend groups is, you get in that mentality, like everybody's so creative. And like, and it almost feels like, okay, well, what really validates me calling myself a creator? But I feel like you really come a different way since that. I feel like you really come around the fact that you got your own style, you got your own flair, and you are adding your own expertise to this group in a way.
Yeah, girl. Everybody's creative. I have learned that there's creative in many different forms. If you're a dentist, you're creative. If you're a doctor, you're creative. It's just, everybody's creative, even if you don't think you're creative.
That part. Yeah. Because it comes in different mediums. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people, especially in this age of like comparison that we are living in, is everybody's, well, this is what I consider creation or the ability to do something with talent. Right. But it's like we all just have a talent in a different space.
Right. So
which is totally valid.
So we started on furniture. And then after furniture, we picked it up from there. And
everybody was spray painting a little orange table.
It was crazy.
In our studio.
That was crazy. We put a clip on that.
I'm gonna roll a clip on that one too, y'all. We wanted to make a little side table out of oranges. That was gonna be my thing with the furniture. I was really excited because I guess kind of the type of stuff that I'm creating now out of clay, I originally wanted to do with furniture. I wanted a flower table. I wanted a table that looked like it was blooming at the ground, child. Yeah. I wanted, what else did we talk about doing? We was going to do the mermaid chair. We had this blue chair. We were going to, if anybody wants to take this idea, just go ahead and do it, honestly, because it needs to be done. So there was this blue chair that we wanted to spray paint the legs gold and then have, make like tiers. Like, you know how the makeup girlies, they're doing those tiers out of hot glue stuff. I was going to do those and adhere them to the legs and spray it all gold. So it looked like the chair was melting.
But so we started on furniture. And then after furniture, we got to go back to after furniture.
You always really that kid. You're like, okay, girl. Anyway,
but we came on furniture. After furniture, everybody started picking up on what they do. She does a little, pottery, sculpting, ceramics. She get in the dirty.
She said she gets in the mud. I get in the mud.
Get a little dirty and,
Hold on.
Dirty, with her hands, feel me? She getting down.
in there.
Knees deep, elbow deep. All right. So then I crochet, crochet. Wow, that's a long process.
When we just came off of our first market. Our first market was yesterday. And there were multiple people that was coming up and they were saying they was learning crochet and that it's hard to say.
It's not hard, it's long. Time consuming, but it's a fun time, but it's time consuming. And then my brother, he's a tougher of the group.
Custom tufting orders.
If you want one, go ahead. Go ahead. Get yourself one.
Now I'm going to put up the 3 pictures of his work.
But then her brother
does all of our photography, social media management. He makes sure we on our P's and Q's. Very important. I will say something that we was talking about is when you're starting a small business, we didn't realize how grateful we were going to be for the fact that it's so many of us. We're 4 artists that came together that have been able to be, I think, on top of things because there's so many of us asking different questions. Hey, is this done? Do we have to do this? Do we want to sign up for this? And we're all exposed to different thoughts and ideations through it. But at the core of it as well, we all have a common interest of getting things done. But having one person do all these things, the social media marketing, the creating, the idea pooling, I couldn't imagine. We talk about having just mad respect for people that have been able to create all of these. When you're a business owner, you're a marketer, you're a salesman, you're a creative director, all those things, because you have to get it all off the floor. You got to get what's going on in your mind and really bring it to the world.
Yes, and it's been a good time that there's 4 of us.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey. It's been a time.
But you know what? I think one of the things, though, that is interesting about it being 4 of us, too, is we're all so different.
Yes. But everybody always says we come together in a nice way.
That's what, so, y'all,
even yesterday at the market, they said everything is, like, we all make something different, but it looks good together.
It still is cohesive. Yeah, it's cohesive. That was something that we was battling with the boys with a lot. Child, we get right into like 4208s. when we started the 4208, we were really talking about, brand identity, what we wanted to be. In my day job, I'm the director of marketing at my firm. And I was talking about brand book and colors and fonts and all this stuff. And something that we really had to get the boys on par with is like, we are not all doing the same thing, but it is cohesive. And they was fighting with us, child, over this. Kenny even said yesterday, he was like, you know what? When we started, I will say, I didn't think that we was, cohesive, but so many people were saying that. And I think that was really nice. That's something that, since we're talking about, the market, seeing our community in person was really cool to watch how people reacted to us and what people thought as they saw all of our stuff together for the first time. Because, we see all of our stuff, in
the studio looking crazy. Because the studio is crazy. The studio is so looking
to have taken all of our art out of a space that we're used to just making it in, and there's stuff everywhere, and there's tools and all the stuff that you need to properly create these things. Taking it out of there and seeing it in a space that we kind of had to build from scratch. It was almost like when you take all your stuff into a new apartment and you really get to take a look at what you got for the first time. That was really nice.
It was really nice. Seeing people's reaction was really nice too. I love people.
It was.
Sometimes I don't like people.
I was about to say, this the first one. How'd you really say it like that? Look at you growing appreciation.
I like people because people, I don't know, sometimes humans can be cute. They do cute things and, they look happy just to be there.
So, at this point, we're about 5 months in, and that's something that we had to talk to the boys about too, was just, this thing ain't gonna be popping right out the gate.
Right.
We just about to hit 400 followers, y'all. I mean, if you're building something, really crafting something, it is really gonna take time, but dedication as well, because if not, you won't experience growth.
Right.
I mean, there was, this is gonna be some real content creators. We had to take a break for a little minute, and we didn't post for a little second.
We had a crazy event happen.
we had to get ourselves together and just really, really culminate what we wanted things to be. But one of the keys of doing that has been opening the lines of communication. I felt like for us, there was almost like we all was kind of hitting a wall in one way or another, and all had a lot going on. And so we kind of fizzled out a little bit. But then when we all started talking again, it felt like that was kind of when things re-upped.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show the most human thing to do in this world is to talk and to really communicate how you're feeling.
Yes, I agree.
And it's the best way I think that's the best way to connect and come together with just about anyone. If you're trying to build a community, I'm sorry, you're going to have to open that mouth. You're going to have to blabber away.
You're going to have to talk.
One of my favorite things.
You're going to have to talk about what's the issue.
Well, talk and really
not
just
like an issue like that, but like what any.
But yeah, like what you're thinking. Just like you like in order to bond with others, I think
you have to be vulnerable.
You have to be vulnerable.
You have to be open.
Because at the end of the day, too, you also want to see like, so for example, if I had never brought up any of the things that were valuable to me, to you as a friend, you would not know anything about me.
Right.
And that's really the basis of trying to build anything with anyone. Any relationships, they're based off of, I think, being able to bring yourself to the table. And if you have common ground, awesome. But if not, knowing how that important that is too.
Right. It is important because you're not going to agree with what everybody says. And since there's 4 of us in this group, we're not always going to agree.
We don't
always agree. And it's hard that there's 4 and it's hard to have 4 people on the same like wavelength. It's hard.
For sure. But I think that's the thing about it too, is for so long we were trying to be all on the same wavelength. But in realizing that there's absolutely no way that you can change anyone else's wavelength, and just realizing, okay, if we can't change it, we need to just make it harmonize.
Yeah.
You see how I ate that?
Yeah, you ate that.
No, but yeah, like really, really creating
not be
like
on the same path, but kind of make it flow together.
Still allow it to be side by side, and that's something. Yeah, that's really what our relationships are about. Even if you're not on the same wavelength, being able to carry a tune together.
We a band.
We a band.
We guitar. But yeah, carry the same.
That's something I'm trying to get better about is my vulnerability. Because I'm
you don't think you're vulnerable?
I'm weird. Here's what I was about to say. I think for me, I'm either too vulnerable or not vulnerable at all. I don't live in the in-between. I take up extremes, but I feel like you are very good in that you're consistent. I think that we have such interesting different ways. And I really, really love having these kind of conversations help me really, because that's what's something I respect about you, and I'm trying to get there myself. Okay. I'm trying to get like you, my boy.
We're on the same lane. I don't know.
Just being able to be, what do you think is a grounding force for you to be able to be consistent in how you present yourself vulnerability wise? Because I feel like one thing about you is you share a certain amount, but you also keep a certain amount to yourself. And you will let a little bit more go for the people that are closer to you. But I've always seen how you start at a baseline and go from there. And sometimes I just be walking in the room, child, and I just trust the soul next to me.
But I think it's important to realize that you can't give your energy to everybody and all of it, because it's a lot, and you don't want to overwhelm people with how much you actually have going on. Because I feel like I let it go both ways. Like I release some things and then I wait for them to release something. And then that's how, you get more vulnerable. But I can't start off vulnerable. That's crazy. I can't do that. I can't do that.
She said, I simply could not.
I can't do that because
I feel that.
Because you can't give everybody everything. Everybody doesn't deserve everything.
100%. Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true.
And it's hard to choose who does and who doesn't, because I feel like when you do it to somebody who doesn't, that could hurt you real bad. And then you can be closed off for a long time. I think, what's crazy? I think that's what created that extreme for me of either I'm super, super closed up or I'm very, very open, because what's interesting? Ooh, child, I'm about to spill the beans on myself. Hold on. Because I'm still going to spill them. But really what I've noticed, and this is a really odd, I'm really about to tell y'all some truth. What has gotten into me? That's what we're here for, though. We're doing vulnerability talk. So on some real shit, I have noticed I am very open and excited with like new people, and especially like I'm very vulnerable when it comes to like
bringing new people into life because I'm like, I'm gonna let you see me so that I know if you want to take this to the next level, and then we'll become even more friends type thing. But then on the other hand, like sometimes the closer people are to me, that's when I clam up a little more. Like when I'm like, for example, like being in a relationship, like I'll be super, super excited and gung ho at the beginning. And then as I notice, I'm like, ooh, it's getting a little warm, toasty. And I'll be like, ugh! And then close up, you know, and that's almost counterintuitive because the people that you no longer, or the people that you do bring closer into your world, wouldn't you want to be vulnerable? So anyway, you just psychology degree. What happened there?
Girl.
Talk to me about that.
Girl, I don't know about that one.
No, but so if anybody else goes through that kind of thing, like that's really something real for me.
I mean, I always say like, the best thing is to realize like, don't allow that situation to change who you are, like inside. Like if you're genuine and like something bad happens, still be genuine. Like, cause I always say, I think what a last person did, this next person doesn't have anything to do with the last person. Like just because this person hurt me doesn't mean this person is. And then I can't hurt them because they didn't do anything to me. Yeah, it's because I just got hurt. That's how I go about it.
That's real. It just, you know, it can feel real sour inside.
But it's like you can't inflict pain.
Yeah,
but it is
right.
A saying,
you can't
it's a saying, hurt people. But it's like I try not to hurt a person because just because somebody else hurt me. Because like I said, that person didn't have anything to do with the situation that happened to me. So I just try to keep that same.
I think that's a good point. What's interesting is I always have had this idea, but in the way of like loving people. Like, for example, like I've always said, no matter how much someone has ever hurt me, to me, I'm like, that's cool because you have shown me a new profoundness of how deep I can love. Even if you did hurt me, like it, but it's interesting now in seeing that I do say that, I'm like, that's the same premise for what you're saying as well, is like, even if someone did, you know, wreck you for a second, you can't necessarily allow that to, cause that's how I feel about loving someone. Even if you really, really gave your all to someone and they really did not, you know, reciprocate or whatever, you can't allow that to change the level to which you can love at. No, sure. Cause now it just shows that if you show how much you can love, you just prove to yourself, I can give that all back to myself now.
And I think that is like, then it comes to terms like where I stay in the middle of vulnerability and, I mean, not being vulnerable and being too vulnerable is I just treat everybody the same. Like, and then I wait for them to be vulnerable with me until I feel comfortable to be vulnerable with them.
So do you wait for people to be vulnerable first? Yes. You do? What if what if they don't though? What do you do then? I'm like, then what do you do?
I think I drop a little egg to see if they'll pick it up. I drop a little egg, a little something. All right. For them to even feel comfortable with me to allow it. I might communicate a little bit more. Boom. Okay. Drop the egg. I might say something a little deep, but like be funny with it so it doesn't seem that deep. Boom. And then they start talking about deepness. Now they got deep too. Now I'm gonna get serious deep. Cause I was just joking deep before.
You said I was just putting my toe in there.
Put my toe in. I think I allow people, if they're not vulnerable with me, I get a little bit vulnerable with them.
Okay.
I just can't.
You give a little. See, because that's my thing is that I've never been good about that.
I'm either the whole meal. You have to taste it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I just try to come to things though with just like a certain openness. Like, this is what it is. Come and get it.
This is
come and get it. This is but it's like you said though, like having that extreme leads me to the other extreme as well though. So that's a really good point looking at. Thank you, friend.
You're welcome, friend. You just have to find the middle.
Yeah, I like that. I like that little boom, a little egg.
You just have to a little bit.
I like that.
Just a little bit. I think that's how I've done with anybody. Whether that be a friend, if that's somebody I'm talking to, I want to take serious. I'm not vulnerable with these people that fast. You know, you gotta give them a little something. It takes me a little minute. It takes me a little minute. But one thing is, I would say about myself is I can communicate something that doesn't feel right with me. If I feel something, especially with like people I talk to, which unfortunately is men.
She said, wait, I thought you was about to come out to me. I was like, I'm proud on this day.
No, unfortunately it is men. But it's I try to communicate. Like when something doesn't sit right with me, or I don't like the way, not that I don't like the way they're treating me, but it's like something just doesn't seem right. I communicated to them one time. They don't change that. If they don't try to improve or they actually put an effort to it, then I know that they don't really like me or they don't want anything serious
off that one.
Because I shouldn't need to tell you twice.
Exactly. I like that. That's something that I gotta tell you, girl. That's something I really respected about you from the get.
That's like setting
you don't
boundaries.
Put up with nothing, and I like that.
I mean, I put up with something.
I mean, something. She said, "Hold on,
I'm not perfect now."
Yeah, no, but it's
slide.
Still,
I'm like, and then I look back, I was like, "Should I let that shit slide?"
It's true though, and like you know what, that is something that I think that's very, very important as well. Because I was going to ask you, like, what you, how you go about doing that then with like people that you talk to, like, how you go about communicate. Like, what would you say if you were telling somebody this is how you can communicate this correctly? What would you say? How you see things?
Like, for example, I'll give you a small example. Like, I like when people engage in conversations and listen to me. So if I don't feel like you're engaging with me, I'll let it slide a couple times. But then there's going to get a time where I tell you, like, hey, I don't like that when I'm talking to you, you don't seem to listen to me. And you're not responsive and you're not giving me feedback. I like when people give me feedback. So then I tell them. And if the next time I still feel the same way, then I know that they don't like me.
You're like that I'm cool.
Because I already told you one time that I didn't like this, that was going on. So if the next time you don't listen to me, then I gotta go. I gotta go. So I always say, like, you should always tell somebody something one time. If they don't improve or fix it, that's just not them. And if
that's a good point, because I've always been someone that I'm like, well, maybe they could improve. I'll give you that. You know, maybe that was the one.
Because I feel like if it's a small improvement, then I know that they're trying to do that for me. But it's like now that they don't listen to me at all and just like breeze by it, then they don't care. They didn't care about what I said, really.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Ooh, I feel like we could do a little deep dive with Nicole today. I'm like, so tell me.
What do you do?
But yeah, no, like that's a really, really good point. That's a really, really good point. I just think that it's important because, you know, someone like me that live a little off the rails. It's just really funny because I think that we have both sides, both perspectives represented here in that I feel like I'm a very like high energy and kind of take extremes of things. The extrovertedness, exactly. And I kind of be jumping around everywhere. And I feel like you are a very good constant, and it's that Taurus in you. That Taurus in you. We was talking about so you are a double Leo.
Leo, sun and rising,
which is crazy.
Do you feel it?
You definitely feel it in the air. But you got that you ain't on that little world with the moon.
The Taurus had to bring me down.
The Taurus, yeah.
It keeps me in the earth. I was 3.
If you had 3 Leos, nah, I would be packing up right now, y'all. I would be.
The Taurus keeps me in earth.
I think it's very strong. I think it's very strong within you. I think that's something that, because for me.
But I feel like when it comes to your moon, it only comes out when you're comfortable. So it's like everybody else. But then it's weird because nobody thinks I'm a Leo. Nobody ever thinks you're a Leo. It's because you're one of them Leos that's real. How would I say? Okay, y'all. July. So it's the July Leo. It's the July Leo. The August be a little crazy. Don't do that. Now look, people must be in the comment section talking about something. This girl, take this co-host off. Sorry, you know.
Look, but the July Leos, I will say, it's something definitely different about y'all. It's definitely different.
Why you say it like that?
No, but my thing is that I feel like you're one of the Leos though, that you are definitely gonna bring the most, like, you definitely bring your thoughts to the table. But I don't think that you do it in this like big, loud, da-da-da way. You're like, this is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Just bringing it down. Who are you? What's your moon?
So I'm a Libra sun. I'm a Capricorn moon, and I'm a Gemini rising. I'd be choking saying that. When I found out I was a Gemini rising, you know what's crazy? Someone had told me that, my mom, she told me I was born in the morning. I thought I was born in the morning. Basically, the time of my birth changed because initially I was a Scorpio rising. But to me,
I
was like, there's absolutely no way. I did not agree with it. I knew it did not align because I was like, there's nothing mysterious about me.
Nothing.
There is nothing mysterious about me. You meet me and you know everything about me right here. And then I'll be like, yes. I literally, you know that little meme that's like, what is it? It's like, I be trying to be mysterious and sexy, but I just can't close my damn mouth. That's me. That's me.
Not mysterious at all.
So I was like, something right here.
Gemini's goes better?
I really was scared to find that out. And I really don't know how I feel about that. But here's what I will say. Finding out that I had another air sign in my chart did make a lot of sense because I think there is a lot of
Capricorn's an air sign? Capricorn's an air sign?
Gemini's an air sign.
Oh.
Gemini's an air sign. The 3 air signs: Aquarius and Libra and Gemini. Which I don't really want to. I don't really know how Geminis are air signs. They're the most fire air sign that there is. Right. Y'all so fire, so I'm sorry.
Lord. Lord. But it makes me a little
all I'm saying is it's not a mistake that everybody feel the same way about y'all and Sagittarius.
But that would make sense. You know how Geminis get the rap that they two-faced? That would make sense for your extra vulnerability and your no vulnerability. I ate that one up. Hold on.
Stop.
I think
it's true though. It's you know what? It's not two-facedness though, Nicole. I'm gonna need you to correct that because it's duality. All my Geminis out here, okay, it's called duality, and I respect it only because I happen to just so be one. We gonna have to maybe reconfirm that. Who knows? I could really.
But it's always so funny because it's like y'all say I'm a Leo, but then everybody else outside world don't think I'm a Leo.
What does the outside world think that you are?
I don't know. They be thinking I'm a. What have I gotten before? I think I've gotten Pisces.
I was going to say Pisces. I don't know. But that's a little too emotional for you.
Yeah. It's a little too emotional.
It's not even that they're emotional. It's just that
I'm not very emotional.
Because you gotta think when I think Pisces, I think like, is Janae Aiko even a Pisces? I think about her energy for some reason.
They do give that.
Very ethereal. That's exactly what they give. Pisces give
a
little.
Yeah.
I agree. A little arts, it gives me like water oasis lagoon, like real calm, peaceful vibes. So I understand.
I sometimes get Pisces.
Yeah, I would see why. I would see why. I would say based off of just like your vibe, like that, you know.
But yeah, they don't ever think I'm a Leo, which is crazy because I have 2. And the main 3.
Well,
2.
You got a lot of things. Everybody's gonna soon find out that you're definitely a Leo. It's gonna come out of you.
And then I got another one, Leo Venus too.
Your Venus is in Leo. My Venus is in hold on.
She don't know.
What's my Venus? I thought my Venus was in Libra, but I might be wrong. No, my Venus isn't Libra. It's my Mars that's in Leo, girl. I found that out.
What's your Mars again?
Your Mars is your sexual energy, I think. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's the Venus.
But no, Venus is like your like loving energy, I'm pretty sure. We have to look this up. We're gonna cut this out. This is a load of doo-doo.
No, my Mercury is in Cancer, which makes sense because when
I don't know what my Mercury is in.
When I get emotional, because Mercury is communication.
Mm-hmm.
How
do you think you communicate the most when you're real passionate? When you're like, what do you think?
I don't get emotional where I cry, but I can get a real like. It's like my mind is just blocked by my emotion.
You just be talking.
No, it's like. The thing about me is I catch an attitude quickly.
Yes.
So then like
not me being like, no. Because me too. You know, me too. Yeah,
me catch an attitude quickly. Mm-hmm. And then don't communicate with me because I'm gonna be like, you know what? You know what I find funny?
Yeah. This is what I know.
Yeah.
This is what I know.
And then it's just blocked. Yeah. And then all my logical thinking is gone.
What do you think is the key for keeping your logic when you are communicating in spaces like that?
I honestly feel like you gotta leave me alone for a minute.
Really? Do you journal in times like that?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So would you say that you journal when you're mad and sad?
No, I think it's more sad.
More sad? Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like I think it's more sad.
You know what's crazy? The only time I've really journaled consistently is when I'm rage. If I've rage journaled. I used to be when I was 15. I used to be in my room. Like I really used to be.
I think it's more sad because when I'm sad, I really can't communicate. Like, mad, I'm a go off. But when I'm sad, I just get close.
Do you prefer when you're sad? Do you prefer then to just put those feelings in a place and put them away? Is that why you feel that way?
That's why I journal. Lock it up. Leave it alone. I don't want to think about it.
I think that's why I haven't really started journaling like that, is because I'm like, I want to do that, but if I take like happy moments and stuff, will that be like, I don't know. Like I almost am like,
sad place. Don't look at it.
See, that's what I'm saying. No, I don't want.
It'd be the notes app and then the journal sometimes. Don't look at it.
The notes app too.
The notes app.
I have one of those notes.
Oh my God.
I have one of those notes.
Have you ever reread one of your journal entries?
Yes.
That's so embarrassing.
Mine wasn't even a journal entry though. Mine was when you write one of them texts that's so long, you got to do it in the notes first. And I got one of them that every time I scroll past it, you know that sound on TikTok that's like the woman crying and it's like the sad violin music. That's what I hear every time I scroll. I'd be like, who was she? Oh my God. You be weak in the knee. Stand up. Oh my God. That's how I feel.
I'd be like, I'd be so sick rereading them. I'm like, no, you didn't feel like that. Why would you feel like that?
You said you was a G.
Why would you was a G? It's so sad. Oh my God.
That's how my Tumblr was for me. My Tumblr was the place. Yeah, I had a Tumblr. Old as freaky. Hold on. Cause this girl gonna say, I was 8, you was 10, but I was 8.
When this I was 8,
you wrong. Cause I'm not that old, Nicole. It's 2 years, Nicole.
I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what?
Okay, we're gonna leave it alone.
25 is coming up around the corner.
She talks about how when you're 25, you start decaying away.
It's a little bit, Not you start decaying.
My back don't feel the same, but I'm not gonna lie about something.
The hangovers be worse.
I heard that they start to last about 3 days long. The other day I had a 2-day.
Yo, kill me at 25.
Oh my God, Nicole.
I've lived enough.
So Tumblr was really my place though, where I would, if we went through my Tumblr, you'd probably be concerned for me. Because it was crazy.
I was never a Tumblr or like Twitter girl.
What were your like social medias coming up?
I just Instagram, Snapchat. I was never into,
really.
I'm never into Tumblr.
You never had a MySpace or Facebook, nothing.
I had a Facebook, yeah.
Why did you look?
I had a Facebook.
What is this feather in your eyebrow, girl? This feather is not trying to come off of you.
I didn't have a. I'm in Tumblr.
You did not have a Tumblr?
No, I did not have a MySpace though.
Wow. Do you remember when Snapchat had no filters at all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Girl.
I was just making sure.
It was only 2 years.
The way that you was looking at me, I don't know.
MySpace was when y'all was 10, right? And I was 8, so I didn't have one.
Couldn't. All the years have blended together for me. I really don't know when. I don't know when was when. Does that happen to anybody else? I be thinking to myself, all the years for me have blended together. I don't know if it's the trauma. I don't know what. But all of the years have come together for me. Straight to that. Clean.
But yeah, I didn't have a Tumblr. I never got into Tumblr. Tumblr was around. I mean,
I was gonna say.
But I was just not a Tumblr or like a Twitter girl. I just never get it. Twitter was always your best.
I liked Twitter for a minute because it felt like a big community forum. When people was on there and talking instantaneously, it was very instantaneous.
But now it's very negative.
I can understand why. I hopped off before it really got to that point because when people started dissing each other, I was like, I ain't letting my ass get caught up in this.
But girl,
I used to have a mustache when I was little, so I was like, people gonna bring things up I don't want to talk about.
Twitter is
and when
crazy.
It started really jumping off, when people,
crazy.
Yeah, when people started getting into Twitter arguments and stuff, I was like, let me get my out of here.
I never got into Twitter because I don't know. It just always, I don't know, because I was like, if I tweet, who will look at it?
Girl, everybody.
It ain't that important. But did it feel like a community?
In a way. I think it did in a way. I think before we had all of this, I think, yes, just a very negative one where I think people found a lot of joy in coming at each other on a public forum that felt so intimate. Now, not to say, because you don't really be seeing drama in people's Instagram comments. You don't see none of that. You know what I mean? The fights used to be live in action in front of any old body.
Instagram makes me mad though, because this is just a bunch of comparison.
Yeah, that's something that I will say. Having to be someone that's in marketing and social media and creating this stuff and wanting to take a break from it consistently is really difficult, because you feel like, dang, I'm really not, it's hard to do my job when I don't want to be exposed to all this stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Instagram's a whole different topic.
That's where something that I really, really respect about you too, man. Even when we talked about having to make more content, you stood 10 toes down and you said, I'm not uploading.
I don't know, it's very hard.
I get that.
Like a hermit crab.
I don't get that. What's going on. But you know what? If like that's your way, like that for some reason. Yeah,
my mama.
Yeah, but we are both children of immigrants. We're Dominican. I hate saying that I'm Dominican American. I'm Dominican.
I don't say I'm Dominican American.
I'm Dominican. You don't ever say Dominican American?
No, I just said I'm
Girl, because me neither. I hate saying that.
I don't know who
says that. And I'll take it. I don't know who's that.
I don't know who says that.
See, because that's the thing. I think that people will be like, well, you're not Dominican. You were born here, right? But I'm Dominican. Yeah. Good. Okay. So look, anyway, so we are both Dominican, and we have immigrant parents, and one thing about them, they love a camera. Machu Picchu. Do you remember where that came from?
No.
That was my uncle. Every time he wanted more pictures, he would say Machu Picchu. And I was like, oh, the mountain? I swear. It was just so cute, though. Because there's a lot of stuff about Latin parents like that, that they'll be like, bro, finding out the reason that they say Viva Peru is because Vicks Vapor Rub. They just put the words together. They just smack them together. Poloche.
Polo shirt. That's where it comes from.
What?
Poloche comes from polo shirt.
That's why they say that?
Shirt? Yeah.
That's not a real word, poloche.
No.
That's crazy. Do you know more like that? I'm trying to think of what else is like that.
I don't know about it. This is the one that came to the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure
that's crazy. I didn't know about that one. More. No, there's a lot of them like that. Because even
but that's like a Dominican, like Caribbean thing.
Yes.
Sure, Puerto Rican say it? I'm pretty sure. No, I think they said like. What did they say?
Bermuda.
No, I don't know what that is.
No, that's another one. Bermuda. You know what that is? Bermuda shorts. The ones that go to your knee. Bermuda. Cachu? Ketchup?
Yeah.
That's not a real word. What is the real word for ketchup then? See? How did we get here anyway?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
How we get... We gotta get back on.
We're talking about community.
Well...
What about community? That's the important thing of the 4208. And I guess even Pink Bonnet Talk. What we want to do here is to create a community, for real.
I think that...
have conversations like we just had.
Yeah. Well, because too, I think that in having more conversations like this, you gain a lot of perspective and understand how people go about the way they move, and even just in your own growth, how you can
improve,
or like build different habits. Because as people, that's hard.
Changing not who you are, but things you're
evolving.
It's hard. And that's what we have to do in life, not in the world. That's what we have to do in life. Every time you gotta evolve.
Shed the skin.
You can't be the same. You cannot be the same. You shouldn't be the same.
Because the world changes. That's exactly what we was talking about. How much the world is changing. And if you don't change too, you gotta level up.
Yeah, left behind. But I feel like as well, like it's always good to hear people's experiences, people's things, because I don't know, it could even help you on your life path. Or anything, like hearing people.
My mom would always say to me, she was like, you can learn a lot from other people. I'm sure people say this, but just not even having to just use your experiences to come up off of like a better person. You know what I mean? Really listening to what people have gone through, or what challenges that they are facing.
I think as well as like as this podcast grows, we should like get to know. We're gonna have guests. We're gonna get to know people. We're gonna hear their experiences too, which is very important, I would say.
For sure. That's what it's all about. And if you guys would like to join our community, you can follow us at the 4208. And that is where we are going to be putting these episodes. We're going to have these on YouTube as well. I'm like, please like and subscribe.
YouTube, I don't know where we can put it. We're going to put it somewhere.
On the TikTok. But yes, we will be dropping new episodes of Pink Bonnet Talk every 2 weeks. Come sit down with us, have a laugh, have a nightcap, and we'll
finish off your night.
Woo you off to bed.
Yeah, if you fall asleep during it, that's fine too.
Yes.
Hopefully,
enjoy.
We got nice voices, you know.
This is how we can check our ASMR. But yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and just join us for the next one. We'll see you in 2 weeks.